This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on the channel this afternoon. And it's about time we get to discuss those six guys, those six guys back in June 2019. Some big thing that happened in Vancouver. Oh, yeah, the 2019 NHL entry draft. Our six guys we drafted from then. It is about time we get to discuss them again because we've obviously gone through the World Junior Championships, all this and that. Raphael Lavoie has been traded. Other guys are now playing full-time with their teams, and this is good news for us because now we have a little bit more clear indication on what is happening with some of our rookies this year. So with that said, shall we get to it? But before we do, what I want you to do is, if you're new to the channel and you're clicking because you saw Broberg's name or Lavoie's name or Daneshkin's name, hit that subscribe button because, guys, we're going to be talking about these guys for a lot of years to come. So get in there, enjoy some other Oilers talk while you're at it, and let's get going, shall we? So, simply put, Philip Broberg has been playing over in Skellefteå AIK, 29 games this year, 4 assists, only a -2 on the year, and well, you know what, that's not fancy stats, but I think by any means for Philip Broberg, who is still only 18 in the SHL, I don't think we're complaining too much. I know a lot of people are a little leery about him to begin with, but I think there's a lot of potential here still, and given the fact that he's been playing pro, this does allow for the transition, right? Is you let him play pro this year. I think the plan is next year he plays all year in Bakersfield, and then the year after, you know if he's in the NHL or not. Similar to what we did with Bouchard, but you just never know, right? Is you could easily still put Mr. Broberg down in the OHL for next season and then bring him up to the AHL at the end of the season to test him out like we did with Bouchard last year. At the end of the day, I really don't know which way you go with it, but for Broberg as well, he's had 5 points in 16 U20 international junior games over there in Europe, and that's 3 goals, 2 assists, so really just not adding up to too much with his point totals, but Broberg's never been a light you on fire offensive defenseman by the numbers I'm seeing here in his career ranks, so that's alright, right? Is, you know what, still could be good, but realistically, right, is when we start talking about a light you up offensive defenseman, we're kind of comparing against Evan Bouchard, who's in our system, or against like guys like Caleb Jones, who was lighting it up in his season in the AHL this year, right? So let's just hold back the judgment for a minute here and keep going, shall we? The guy that is lighting it up, by all means, is Mr. 55 points in 37 games played in the QMJHL, now with the Chicoutimi Seguinet of the QMJHL, Raphael Lavoie, who, well, in his first 7 games after that monster haul trade, 7 games played, 6 goals, 5 assists, 11 points, so he's averaging almost, seriously, he's 3 points off of 2 points per game in those first 7 games. That is absolutely incredible. And I mean, we have seen Raphael Lavoie go out there in beast mode all year long. He's a total of, 18 points? 18 points in the next how many ever games? 18 points in probably 18 more games away from being able to match what he did in last season's totals of 73 points in 62 games. So anyone who thought he was due for a little bump down in the statistics really missed on that one, that's for sure. But I don't think anybody was. That's just me overthinking it. As 11.7 games played with Chicoutimi, he had 44 points in 30 games with Halifax. So you think about it, he had 18 goals, 26 assists with Halifax. He now has 6 goals in 7 games with Chicoutimi. This is good to see. Now you move on to the guy that keeps being that interesting note. He'll probably be 23, 24 by the time he ever plays a game for the Edmonton Oilers. So yes, you see that plan, right? Obviously, if Skinner, Wells, Starrett don't pay off, you've got Ilya Konovalov ready to take the crease from Mikko Koskinen if that is indeed what the Oilers do. He's played 33 games with Lokomotiv Yaroslavl, who's had that weird year, right? They fired Craig McTavish 8 games into the season, and I don't even realistically know the full story with Ty Ratty, but he's on a completely different team now because he was lighting it up on Locomotive and then he got the punt. I don't know. But a 255 goals against average and 907 save percentage. Hold on. Oh, bless me. And that, ladies and gentlemen, are the numbers we have been waiting for out of Ilya Konovalov all season here. As you see, last year he had a 1.89 goals against average and a 930 save percentage, while this year 907, 255. It's nice to see this goalie be a little bit consistent after struggling the year. Like I think he started with 325 goals against average, so that was a little worrisome, that's for sure. Now give me a second here. I gotta go get my pronunciation up here because I've got it screenshotted somewhere. Where is it? Somewhere in here, and I want to get this right. Sorry if you think I'm stalling, but I gotta make sure I get this one right or I'm gonna be facing some criticism here. Here we go. Where we at? Do I not have it here? I should have it here. Should be here somewhere. Okay. Well, it looks like I'm going to butcher, whatever you want to say it again. As I'm just going to give up. Ah, no, here we go. Kyle Baker. That's the one I was looking for. It was just a white screen on my phone. All right, we're talking about Matai Blumel right now, and obviously, if you've watched these prospect updates a couple of times already this year, I've butchered the Czech team he's playing for. So let's get it right. It's HC Dynamo, however you want to say it, Pardubice. See, like I tried to say it fast and I botched it. So there you go. That's what you need to know. HC Dynamo Pardubice. Alright, that's tough because of how the CE works at the end there, but I got myself through it. Kyle, thank you again. I'm going to reference that for the rest of my career, I'm sure. 24 games played with the Dynamo club. See, I'm going to avoid screwing it up. 3 goals, 1 assist, 4 points for Matai Blumel so far on the Pro Czech team. He's had 1 goal in the WJC, and then, of course, he's had the U20 competitions, similar to what Mr. Philip Broberg's been doing. He's had 6 points in 13 games and been a lot more successful there. So that's good to see. Now we move on to our next draft pick there, our round 6 draft pick, Thomas Majura. And let me tell you, he's had a weird year. I think we're still waiting for stats on the Kimball Union Academy USHS prep. Possibly that's what it looks like on EliteProspects.com. However, he's transitioned over to the USHL as well with the Omaha Lancers, where he's had 3 points in 4 games. So the USHL, that last tier in US hockey before you go over to the NCAA. And of course, he is committed to Providence College, which you may remember Mr. Vinny Desharnais played at back in his years prior to becoming a Bakersfield Condor. Now, the last guy we need to talk about, this is a guy that is on the radar as a 7th round pick just because he's an Edmonton Oilers prospect and I'm keeping him on the radar, I guess. Somebody we haven't heard much about this season, but 38 games played with Loko Yaroslav of the MHL, not the KHL over there in Russia. That's Maxim Denezhkin, and he was our draft pick round 7, a number 193 overall. Whew, that's a lot of people before you. He's had 38 games played, 22 points, 8 goals, 14 assists. He's had a heck of a year already, and of course in the VHL he had an assist as well, but he's the captain of the local Yaroslav team, so you can talk about a guy that has a little bit of leadership experience because of that, and a guy that you have to keep on the radar. So you talk about it, like honestly, you talk about the point production, who's looking the best? It looks like Denezhkin, and it looks like Mr. Raphael Lavoie are looking like the best prospects we have out of the draft based on production. That said, Philip Broberg still elite ceiling. Raphael Lavoie, guys, whew, man, he looks better by the day, and trust me, it could definitely be a good work of art to see him light it up in the AHL next year, or even potentially on the NHL team, right? We did it right. We served him one more year a junior. Now, is he ready to make that jump? Well, we still got another month or two of QMJHL hockey, and then we'll start talking junior to NHL transition. But of course, Ilya Konovalov, guys, the 2-year plan. Pretty much all these guys have a 2 to 3 to 4 year plan in place as to when we will see them, if we see them in the NHL. Guys, I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. That's been your 2019 NHL entry draft Edmonton Oilers prospects update. I am up on out of here.